Good afternoon, folks. My name's Sandy. Welcome back to the channel. I'm out here in my red pine forest, and today I'm going to take care of these trees right here that I cut down about 2 months ago, piled up, and then have since been covered in snow. With the snow finally letting go, although there is a few little piles of it here and there, with the snow finally letting go, I'm able to get to these trees. And so we're going to cut them up into length, because if I let them sit here too long when the weather gets warm, you end up getting some insects that bore into the bark, and it ends up allowing moisture in there, and then you get discoloration in the lumber as well. You get lots of holes in there. I don't want that. There is a time and a place for that type of distressed look, but I'm not going for it here. So I'm going to get this cut up here. I'm going to cut in preset sizes. I typically will cut somewhere in the neighborhood of like I don't know, maybe 8.5 feet long for 8-footers, maybe upwards of 9 feet for 8-footers. I might also cut 12.5 foot in order to make a 12-foot piece of lumber. So I'll probably stick to those two sizes. Maybe I'll cut some 10-footers depending on the material, but there's definitely some small ones in here. I've cut much of the tree already off that I could access, but we do have some decent ones in here still. Nothing too big, but we'll make some nice lumber out of it. So we'll cut those up today, fire up the chainsaw. Got a little pile here, got a little pile over there. And as I said, before the weather gets too warm, I need to get these up and milled, get the bark off them, and that way we don't have the boring insects getting in. So that's what we're up against today. On my left here, you'll see the thing that's going to help me get these logs over to my sawmill. This is my log loader trailer. This is a Wallenstein LXT95. I'm going to be picking up the logs after I get them sawn, put up onto the trailer. Today what I'm also going to do is something that I've done in the past, and I don't know if I've really showed it too much on the channel, but going back to my sort of construction days, we'll call this a storyboard. You can see right here, this is a 9-foot piece of 2x2. This is going to be used to quickly figure out the length of the log and make my cut without having to break out the logger's tape. The logger's tape's great, but if you're pulling it out every time to get a cut, sometimes it's a bit slower than using something like this. So I'll just take this and basically go to the end of the log, and I'll just set it there, and then I know if I cut right there, it's 9 feet. Now I was looking around for a piece of lumber that was a little bit longer so I could do my 12-footers. I couldn't find a piece up at my shop, so might just use a scrap piece of wood, maybe one of these dead trees here, and mark it to 12 feet and use it for that. But anyways, that's what we're going to be doing. Fire up the Husky in just a moment and get down to work. Here we go. Well, there we have it. We cleaned up some of those red pine trees, and obviously we have a load of logs here ready to head up to the sawmill. That's about all I'm going to put on this trailer. I don't know how many I have there. In terms of capabilities, the trailer can hold 5,000 pounds. The trailer itself weighs 1,650 pounds. Match those two together, that's a pretty good jag for the tractor, so we'll call that good. I'm not going all that far. I just have to head down the trail, just a few ups and downs, pretty flat. Nothing too pressing. You would have seen when I came out here, it was very muddy. I've taken a load through that mud before, and that was not fun. So I don't want to do that again, especially with this many logs on here. So despite the fact that some of the logs are on the small side, I'll probably make a 4x4 out of small ones like that, and some of the bigger ones, maybe I'll sneak a 2x6 out of them. Who knows? But it's going to be lumber nonetheless, and I've got all kinds of projects. So when the trees are here and I've got the sawmill and equipment, why not? If you guys have any questions at all about the log loader trailer, feel free to put it down below in the comments. I'm still a few months in owning one of these. I can tell you it certainly changed the way I do things around here. What I used to do was skid all my trees across the ground, obviously up into the sawmill. Alternatively, I'd cut it to length, and then I'd have to pick up a few at a time, drive down there with the forks or the grapple. And well, this is just a lot faster, and it also keeps the logs up out of the mud. I can't always skid logs in the winter, and as a result, I would be cutting through muddy logs most of the time. So this is quite nice that way. It also gets the logs up and over the terrain nice and easy, as opposed to skidding through some of the muddy sections, maybe some off-camber stuff, and the logs want to roll. This takes care of all that. So very fortunate to be able to use this thing. And my tractor here, if you're interested, this is a 40 horsepower Coyote DK40. Pretty good size frame on there, hydrostatic transmission. I think it's rated at about a 7,700 pound pull, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, you match these up. As I said, the trailer weight and the log weight, probably getting pretty close to there. So having the brakes on this, especially with hills, I'm not talking the tractor, I mean the trailer. That's kind of a nice thing. So check out some of my previous videos if you want to see a full spec on the trailer. Chainsaw performed flawlessly once again. That Husky 555, I don't know. It's been ripping for years. I don't do a heck of a lot to it. In fact, knock on wood, it's never been in for service aside from your typical, you know, good fuel, good oil, spark plug from time to time. Although now that I think about it, that might be the original spark plug. New air filter, that's about it. It's a great saw. So we're going to get back at it next time. Make sure to join me. I'll be down there sawing these into some nice lumber, and hopefully that goes without issue, and you guys are there to join me. Take care, guys. Be well. See you next time.